Is Wolfchild a delirious oddity or a respectable 16-bit workhorse? Plot twist, it's both, simultaneously flexing its biceps and breaking the fourth wall like a furry Deadpool. Is it criminally underrated or quietly overrated? Yes, depending on whether you discovered it in a dusty pawnshop bin, underrated gold, or paid today's collector premium that rivals the GDP of a small moon. Overrated, your bank account whimpers. And is it essential or utterly skippable now that your backlog is a hydra of unfinished JRPGs? That hinges on the definition of essential. Do you mean historically indispensable, or simply a guaranteed way to watch a mullet-sporting human morph into a shirt-eschewing wolfman who never forgets his neon Lycra trunks? Buckle up. Nothing screams 1993 like a Euro platformer that welds Altered Beast transformation fetishism to Strider's gymnastic bravado, then dares to strut across the SNES while the rest of the world is busy mashing Hadokens. Historical context. Back when Virgin Interactive juggled Disney licenses, Aladdin, RTS Experiments, Dune 2, and art house curios, The Seventh Guest, the company also served as North America's port authority for Euro-born action romps. Core Design, operating out of Derby, England, occupied a peculiar niche in that arrangement. Their previous hit, Chuck Rock, proved Amiga Studios could deliver console-friendly charisma. Designer Simon Phipps and composer-coder Martin Iveson wanted their next project sleeker, less caveman slapstick, more comic book cool. The concept? What if a scientist's son turned himself into a superpowered werewolf to rescue dad from a bioterror cabal? Someone at Core said, "Perfect, but keep the shorts." The first build of Wolfchild howled onto Amiga and Atari ST discs late in 1992, bagging respectable 80% scores. A Super Nintendo port, though, meant courting an audience that measured every cartridge against Capcom's Elite. Virgin spent extra months redrawing sprites to exploit the console's deeper color modes, slipping in an additional parallax layer, and stretching Saul's transformation animation into a Furby bloom of Saturday morning splendor. Timing, alas, proved tricky. Both PAL and NTSC cartridges landed in mid-1993. Europe around July, North America in June 1993, squarely between Street Fighter II Turbo Mania and the impending 1-2 punch of Mega Man X and Super Metroid. A pre-rendered gorilla named Donkey Kong wouldn't swing in until the following holiday, but the hype cycle was already tightening its grip on magazine covers. Amid such show ponies, Wolfchild's box, Neon Silhouette, Unleash the Beast Within, still snagged my teenage gaze at Electronics Boutique. Personal anecdote, the clerk with the eyebrow ring loaded the kiosk and barked, "Check those shorts, bigger quads than Guile, fewer pants than Zangief." I scribbled Wolfchild on a wish list, rented it the next weekend, and discovered my Blockbuster copy was permanently available. Cult status confirmed. Mechanics Lycra, Lycanthropy, and the Biocircuit story cliff notes. Saul Morrow witnesses the paramilitary outfit Chimera kidnap his father, geneticist Dr. Cal Morrow, to weaponize the Biocircuit. Instead of calling the cops, where's the fun in that? Saul hops in the prototype chamber. Out pops Wolfman. No shirt, shimmering trunks that ignore physics. Claws ready. Lycra immune to transformation trauma is our absurd through line. Treasure it. Controls and core loop. On SNES, the scheme is delightfully direct. B jumps, variable height, single frame buffer. Y fires the current projectile. X cycles special weapons. A detonates the equipped smart bomb. And the shoulder triggers do absolutely zilch unless you remap them. The manual literally labels RL, not used. The Psi energy gauge hogs the HUD. Every glowing capsule feeds it. Fill the bar and Saul auto-shifts to wolf form. Take hits and the meter bleeds. Empty it and you revert to flimsy human. The carrot and stick, double damage claws versus fragile frisbee discs. Never gets old. Weapons, full pantry. Wolfchild offers 8 power-ups. Flamer, 3-way, Homer, Smart Bomb, Dual Shot, Arc Shot, Plasma Ball, and Boomer. Each replacing the last, encouraging on-the-fly triage. Level geography and boss gallery core shipped 5 2-act stages, each capped by an outsized boss. Wolfship, gun-littered airship deck, sunset scrolling under parallax clouds. Boss, a cyber crustacean that skitters across rails and fires claw lasers. Dense jungle, chameleon mechs lash tongues from vines. Raindrop parallax sells humidity. Boss, an armored lizard whose camouflage flickers before charge attacks. Ancient temple, collapsing pillars, gargoyle spitters, crumbling stairwells. boss. Spider Brood, a mother arachnid that disgorges mini spiders until you smash its abdomen core. Chimera Base, icy steel corridors lead into a vertigo elevator that scrolls upward for what feels like a cartridge side. Boss, the giant shrimp, a rolling shellfish mech that rebounds off walls and sprays plasma spreads. Bait its rebounds, plant claws, repeat. Inner core, biotech flesh walls, conveyor belts, hazard pits. Final duel, Carl Drax, a two-phase mutant who sheds armor and fills the screen with bullet webs before exploding in sprite confetti. Legacy and influence? Wolfchild never clawed the mainstream, but its fingerprints linger. Core recycled the volatile power meter for Shadow Man's Voodoo Reserve, and the resource drain superstate philosophy echoes in modern roguelites from Dead Cells to Hades. Its turquoise magenta biomech palette foreshadowed the extreme PS1 box art phase. Indie darling Shantae even riffs on the collect then transform dance, whether consciously or by convergent design. The card is moderately rare. Virgin's North American print run was modest. Shelves were drowning in Disney tie-ins, and by 1995, Core had pivoted to 32-bit polygons, leaving poor Saul to prowl flea market tubs. Speedrunning preserved him. The current any percent SNES record sits just below 12 minutes, hinging on a Stage 3 Wolf's Leap glitch that damage boosts across collapsing blocks. Crowd-pleasing filler between 4-hour JRPG marathons at charity events. Closing paragraph plus score, Wolfchild remains the charismatic mid-card wrestler of the SNES roster. Showy entrance, questionable wardrobe, slightly sloppy grapples, but when that top rope claw connects, the crowd pops. Transformation never ceases to thrill. Martin Iveson's baselines still slap, and wherever those invincible trunks were manufactured deserves a Nobel Fabric Prize. Sure, the human attack feels like you're pitching coasters. An absence of saves smells like gym socks left in a locker. Yet at its peak, fur out, three-way blazing, elevator scrolling into infinity, Wolfchild crystallizes why early 90s action can still outpulse modern pixel homages. Score, 7.5 out of 10, half a point lost for collision wobble frisbees, half for the Iron Man session requirement, full points for audacious metamorphosis, 8 weapon variety, and fearless neon Lycra. Wolfchild isn't the SNES's apex predator, but its howl still echoes over retro moonlight, and that's enough to make me hit continue, if only the option existed.